Let's just be honest for a second. There is an uncomfortable truth that we need to confront right at the top of this deep dive.
Okay.
If I put you on the spot right now and asked, what is the single biggest barrier to your financial freedom? What would you say?
Oh, I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
I mean, most people would immediately say, I don't make enough money.
Right. It's the universal refrain. If I just made another $2,000 a month,
If I just got that promotion.
if I could just pick up a side hustle, then everything would be fine. But the data, and specifically the strategy we are analyzing today, suggests that for the vast majority of people, that is simply not true. You don't have an income problem. You have a cash flow problem.
It's the classic analogy of the bucket with holes. You can turn the faucet on full blast. You can pour as much water, meaning income, into that bucket as you want.
Get a second job, win the lottery, whatever.
Exactly. But if there are holes in the bottom,
Yeah.
you aren't filling the bucket. You're
Yeah.
just making a massive, wet mess of your floor.
And today, we are going to talk about how to fix the bucket. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
It's good to be back.
We are continuing our journey through the 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence. If you're just joining us, this is the strategy that acts as a bridge, taking you from the mindset of a salaried employee to
the reality of an asset owner with actual freedom of choice.
And we are, of course, analyzing the formwork developed by Tamir Kaham. And I think it's important to remember who we are dealing with here because his background really dictates the flavor of this advice.
It really does.
He's definitely not your typical finance guru in a suit yelling about stocks.
No, not at all. Tamir is the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. But his background is this fascinating intersection of 2 very different worlds.
Right.
On one hand, he's the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon, which is, it's arguably the foundational text of ancient financial wisdom.
Which gives you the philosophical side, the timeless principles.
Exactly. But on the other hand, he has a career as a systems engineer. So you have this unique blend of, contemporary engineering precision meeting wisdom that has stood the test of millennia.
I love that.
When he talks about finance, he isn't talking about manifesting abundance. He's talking about debugging a system. It's not save more money, it's repair the machine.
I really love that combination. It takes the emotion out of it, which is something we'll definitely get to in a minute. So let's position ourselves on the map.
Okay.
If you've been listening along, you know that in our last deep dive, we covered steps 3 and 4. That was financial mapping, literally turning the lights on and creating a conscious budget.
That was the planning phase. That was looking at the map and deciding where you want to go.
And today, we are moving to episode 4, which covers step 5, cash flow stabilization.
Or, to be a bit more direct,
As the notes bluntly put it, stopping the bleeding.
that is exactly what it is. This is the transition point. We are moving from stage 2's initial planning into, actual triage. But before we get into the mechanics of plugging the leaks, the sources make a mandatory distinction. We have to clarify the goal because I think a lot of people chase the wrong target.
You mean financial independence versus wealth?
Yes, we need to distinguish between financial independence, or FI, and wealth.
I feel like people use those interchangeably all the time. I want to be wealthy. I want to be rich. I want to be independent. It all just sounds like the same thing.
They do, and it causes a lot of confusion regarding the strategy. Look, wealth is about accumulation beyond necessity. It's luxury, excess, surplus.
The yacht, the second home.
Right, the endless buffer. That is a fine goal, but it comes after. Financial independence is different. FI simply means your passive income covers your living expenses.
So survival is automated.
Precisely. It means you have the freedom to choose how you spend your time because you aren't dependent on a salary for survival. The goal of this strategy is to reach FI first. Wealth is a byproduct that comes later if you keep building.
That's actually a huge relief. It brings the goalpost so much closer. You don't need $10 million to win.
Right.
You just need to cover your burn rate.
But, and here is the catch and why today's topic is so critical, you cannot cover your burn rate if your current reality is living in the red.
Which brings us to step 5. The core discussion here is about something the sources call normalizing the bleed. I want to unpack the psychology of the overdraft for a minute, because for a lot of people, seeing a minus sign in the bank account isn't a crisis anymore. It's just Tuesday.
That is the danger zone. When the overdraft becomes standard operating procedure, we stop treating it like a warning signal. We rationalize it.
Oh, yeah.
We tell ourselves stories about why the money isn't there.
Oh, I've done this. It's just a rough month. I had that weird medical bill. The car needed tires.
But let's look at the data. Was it just a rough month, or was it what the sources call the calendar of chaos?
The calendar of chaos. That sounds ominous.
It's the mechanism we use to rationalize the bleed. It's how we convince ourselves that the deficit is temporary. So in January, you say, well, I'm in the red because of the holidays and gift shopping. Once I pay that off, I'm good.
Okay, fair. December is expensive.
Then February comes, oh, it's the car insurance payment. That's a big annual hit. Just bad timing. March.
Uh-oh.
It's my partner's birthday. We had to go out buy a gift. April. Passover or Easter. Big family meals. May. You had to put a deposit down for summer vacation.
I feel attacked. You're just listing my year.
We all do it. But the insight here is critical. If this temporary situation has lasted for 6 months, it is not a temporary condition.
Right.
It is a chronic condition. It is a system failure. You haven't had bad luck for 6 months straight. You have a lifestyle that is fundamentally more expensive than your income.
That is a hard pill to swallow. We tell ourselves we are victims of circumstance, but really we've designed a life that costs more than we earn every single month.
Yeah. And living in that state, what the sources call the red zone, has a biological cost. This is fascinating because it moves beyond math into biology.
Okay.
The sources emphasize that when you are constantly in debt or hovering near the limit, your nervous system stays in survival mode.
So it's not just stress in the abstract sense. That's just worrying.
No, it's physiological. Your cortisol levels are constantly elevated. And here's the kicker. When your brain is in survival mode, it shuts down the prefrontal cortex.
That's the part of the brain responsible for long-term planning and logic, right?
Exactly. It's the adult in the room. When that shuts down, you become reactive. You make short-term decisions. You stress spend.
Yeah.
You think, I feel terrible. I'm stressed about money, so I'll buy this takeout to feel better for 20 minutes, which, of course, just puts you deeper in the hole.
It's a paradox. The overdraft becomes a comfort zone. Not because it feels good to be broke, but because it's familiar. We know how to survive the stress of the minus. We don't know the discipline of the plus.
Familiarity feels like safety, even when it's dangerous. It's like staying in a burning building because you know the layout of the rooms better than the layout of the fire escape.
So how do we break this? Because the shame of it is real. I think that's why people don't open their bills. It feels like a moral failure.
It does.
I'm a bad person because I can't manage my money. I'm irresponsible.
And this is where we have to apply Tamir Kaham's engineering background. We need to reframe this completely. Financial instability is not a moral failure.
Say that again. I think people need to hear that.
It is a system design problem. If you own a factory and a machine starts leaking oil, you don't sit on the floor and cry about what a bad owner you are.
Right.
You don't hide the machine under a tarp so you don't have to look at it.
No, you'd fire the maintenance guy. Kidding. You'd fix the leak.
You look at the schematic and say, a seal is broken, I need to replace the seal.
Yeah.
That is the asset owner mindset. The overdraft is just neutral data. It's a red light on the dashboard indicating a system malfunction.
You don't take it personally.
An asset owner doesn't take it personally. They just fix it.
Okay, so let's talk about the fix. Because the instinct, going back to the very beginning of our chat, is to just sail faster. If I'm leaking money, I just need to hustle harder, get a side gig, ask for a raise. If I bring in more money, the problem goes away. But the sources mention the speeding boat paradox. Why is sailing faster a bad idea?
It feels counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Imagine you are in a boat with a hole in the hull. Water is coming in.
Yep.
Your instinct is to hoist more sails, catch more wind, and speed up to outrun the water.
Makes sense. Get to shore faster.
But in hydrodynamics and in finance, speed increases pressure. If you drive a leaking boat faster, the water rushes in with more force. You sink faster.
Okay, let's ground that metaphor. What does water rushing in with more force look like in my actual bank account?
It looks like lifestyle creep. This is why more income rarely solves a cash flow problem. As income rises, the leaks usually grow proportionally.
Oh, yeah.
You get a raise, so you feel you deserve the new car with the higher payment. You upgrade your apartment to a nicer neighborhood with higher rent. You start buying the premium wine instead of the house wine.
So a $500 leak becomes a $1,000 leak because you feel richer.
Precisely. You have added more wind to the sails, but you haven't plugged the hole. Stability must precede growth. If you don't fix the system at your current income level, more money will just accelerate the disaster.
You see this with lottery winners all the time.
Or pro athletes. Exactly. High earners, doctors, lawyers, engineers who are broke. If the bucket has holes, The size of the faucet doesn't matter. You cannot out-earn a bad system.
So we have to plug the holes. That's the mandate. But here is where it gets really interesting and I think really difficult for people psychologically.
Yes.
The sources call this the Titanic futility trap.
Ah, yes, the feeling of apathy.
Right. It's that voice in your head that says, I am $2,000 in the hole. Why on earth should I cancel my $10 Netflix subscription? It's like trying to enter the Titanic with a teaspoon. Mm-hmm.
So you just give up and order another drink at the bar while the ship goes down.
That is a very real psychological barrier. Mathematically, the $10 seems insignificant against the $2,000. It's a rounding error. But the goal of step 5 isn't just mathematical.
It's psychological.
It is psychological.
So what is the strategy? How do we get over that apathy?
The strategy is the plug one leak challenge. You do not have to fix your entire financial life overnight. You don't have to live on rice and beans starting tomorrow.
Okay.
You just have to fix one thing this week.
Just one. That seems too easy. Like, it won't make a dent.
Just one, because when you fix one thing, you prove to yourself that the system is malleable. You prove that you can change the output. You are a victim of the flow. You are the plumber.
Let's look at some examples from the sources, because I think we all have these lurking in our statements. The first one is the zombie subscription.
The silent killer. The streaming service you signed up for to watch one specific show 8 months ago. You finished the show, forgot to cancel, and now it's just eating $15 a month forever.
That is a classic leak. It provides zero value to your current life. It's purely waste. And people ignore it because it's small, but over a decade, that one subscription is thousands of dollars lost to apathy.
Then there's the charity gym membership. This one hits home for a lot of people.
This one is painful because it's tied to our aspirations, right? We pay for the gym because we want to be the kind of person who goes to the gym.
Right.
We think if we cancel it, we are admitting defeat. But if you haven't been since February...
You're just making a monthly donation to the gym owner's retirement fund.
Exactly. It's a leak. And fixing it requires honesty. It requires admitting, I'm not going to go. And that hurts, but it saves you $50 a month. You could always rejoin later when you actually have the time, but stop paying for the fantasy.
The third one is controversial, the $6 latte debate. Now, the expert in the source material you effectively makes a nuanced point here. You aren't saying coffee is bad.
No.
We aren't doing the stop buying avocado toast and you'll own a house lecture.
No, absolutely not. I love coffee. If I don't have my morning coffee, the system definitely malfunctions. The question is about an intention. Is that $6 latte a source of genuine joy for you? Is it a ritual you cherish? Do you sit down and savor it? If so, keep it. That's value. That's life. But for many people, it's just a mindless routine. They buy it because they're tired. They are on autopilot. They chug it while looking at their phone and don't even taste it. If it's autopilot, it's a leak.
That's the key distinction, autopilot versus intention.
Right. And when you identify one of these, the zombie subscription to the gym, the mindless coffee, and you stop it, something happens in your brain.
The dopamine win.
Yes. You get a hit of dopamine. You feel a sense of agency. You say, I control the system. The system does not control me. That feeling is the fuel you need to tackle the bigger problems. It breaks the paralysis.
It's building the muscle. You are proving the concept to yourself.
Exactly. This connects back to step 1, identity. We are moving from employee to asset owner. An asset owner actively repairs the system.
Yes.
By plugging one leak, you are acting out that identity. You are proving to yourself that you are the one steering the ship.
And that momentum is what carries you to the next steps because, and this is something we need to stress, step 5 is the gatekeeper.
It is. You cannot move forward without this.
The outline is very clear on this.
Yep.
You cannot move to step 6, which is savings. You can't move to step 7, the emergency fund.
No.
And you certainly cannot move to step 11, investing.
Not successfully, no.
Yeah.
You cannot fill a bucket that has holes.
Oh.
If you try to invest while you have a structural cash flow bleed, you will eventually be forced to liquidate those investments, probably at a loss, to cover the bleed. It's a cycle of destruction. You have to stop the loss before you can keep the gain.
So this isn't the glamorous part of financial independence. This isn't picking stocks or buying crypto or looking at real estate listings. This is the plumbing.
It is the plumbing. But without plumbing, the house is unlivable. You have to do the dirty work to build the foundation. If you skip this step, everything you build on top of it will eventually collapse.
So let's wrap this up and give the listener something concrete. We've talked about the theory, the psychology, the biology of debt. But what is the mission?
The mission is simple. We need to transition from normalizing the bleed to stabilizing the flow. We need to get back to zero so we can start moving into the positive.
And next time, in episode 5, we are going to talk about what to do with that stabilized flow. We'll be covering step 6, building a consistent saving habit.
That's when we shift from defense to offense, moving from stopping the loss to keeping the gain. That's where it starts to get fun.
Finally.
That's where we start building the future rather than just paying for the past.
I can't wait for that. But before we wrap up, we have to do the responsible thing.
The disclaimer, yes. Please remember that the content we have discussed today is for educational purposes only. This is not personalized financial, legal, or tax advice.
That's right.
We are analyzing a strategy, but your results will depend entirely on your own execution and your specific circumstances.
Always consult a professional before making big moves. Now, if you want to go deeper into the strategy, you need to go to the source. The full strategy is 3 stages, 13 steps to financial independence.
And you should check out the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. There is a wealth of visual aids and deeper breakdowns there.
And for those listening who want to find it quickly, what is the handle?
The handle is youtube.com/Tamir Goldpath.
One more time on that pronunciation.
@Tamir Goldpath.
Perfect. Go take that out. Now, we always like to end with a provocative thought, a challenge for the week. We talk about the plug one leak concept, but let's make it specific.
Here is the challenge. Go back to your financial map from step 3. Look at your last month of spending. Find one leak. Just one. It doesn't have to be the biggest one. It just has to be real.
And kill it this week.
Kill it this week. Cancel the sub. Call the gym. Delete the shopping app that sends you notifications at 2 a.m.
Do it not to save the money, though. That's nice. But to prove a point.
Exactly. Prove that you are the one holding the wrench. Prove that you are the asset owner. Fix the bucket, then we can start filling it.
I'm going to go check my credit card statement for that streaming service I haven't watched since 2024. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you in the next episode.
See you then.